You have help though, right? How many
Yeah.
people you have on staff?
Yeah, currently I have 5 on staff. We just hired a 5th assistant. She came in, she's gonna work basketball for us. We're super excited to have her just because we have been technically down a little bit in the staffing. But yeah, 5 assistants. And then the other good thing that we have this year is we have 8 new students. We still have an undergrad program and we've been working to build it back up. So we're finally starting to pay off, and we've got 8 newbies in and some returners coming back. So, I mean, they do a lot of the work. We get a lot of the credit for a lot of the stuff that they do, but they help out tremendously, especially at this time of the year. So having them around is awesome as well.
Would you say you run a pretty tight ship with your training room?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so, but I also, I don't micromanage or delegate because, again, I know every sport is different. Like, what we do at football is completely different than what happens at volleyball, than cross country. So I don't really delegate and tell them, you know, what times they have to be there, when they have to do treatment. Just so long as their teams are getting taken care of and I know the athletes are getting what they need, I don't micromanage like that.
How many athletes would you say on an average day you treat and take care of?
I looked at the injury report today. We had about 50 guys come in.
Okay.
And that's just football. We also still have a handful of soccer, volleyball coming in. So, I mean, on an average day, we can have anywhere from 100 to 120 athletes coming through the doors just with all the sports.
So have you always, because it is a lot of work, have you always wanted to be a sports trainer? Is it something you knew growing up? This is what I want to do. I want to help people.
No, my story is very similar to a lot of athletic trainers. I got hurt a lot. So I was in high school. I tore my ACL, I broke my ankle, I dislocated this knuckle. I mean, I didn't have little sprains and strains and things like that. If I usually got hurt, I went big. And, you know, at some point you realize your athletic career is over. And I was an okay athlete. I was never great. I was never going to play in college. But then you start to be in the athletic training room and you see what the other athletic trainers have done and you're like, hey, I could do that.
Yeah.
Looks like fun. So I didn't really decide I was going to go into athletic training until probably my senior year of high school, and then my first year in college really solidified it. But, you know, I've always known I wanted to work with people. I'm a very hands-on person. I didn't want to sit behind a desk. So it's just a matter of finding what I wanted to do. And then again, I got hurt a lot and I was like, yeah, this is cool. So
I know for some of those longer injuries, the recovery process is it can be discouraging. So how do you as a trainer kind of help motivate them to keep going and to keep them in a really good headspace so they can get back to playing their sport?
Yeah, there's a few different things that we do. One of them is trying to make goals. Sometimes it's something simple like increase range of motion. And the kids, as they're rehabbing, kind of forget these things and they start getting frustrated and you're like, yeah, but look at how much farther you can bend your knee without having an issue. Look at how many more reps you can do in a squat without having an issue. Look at how much deeper you can get in a squat without doing an issue. So it's trying to remind them of those little things like that. And then the other thing that we do, we try and keep the atmosphere in the athletic training room lighter. You know, I've been to some places that treat it like, you know, athlete comes in, they sign in, they do their rehab, they leave. And it's very strict and like, just go through it and that's it. I do feel like that can get pretty tedious and can weigh on the athlete when they just keep going and doing the same stuff and they don't get to have any fun because it sucks. I know it sucks.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have a couple TVs in the athletic training room. We're always trying to play something different. We do movies. I'm a big Nat Geo guy. I like learning stuff. We have other sports on, like we had the World Cup stuff on, just so they have something to watch. And then, you know, we do some silly things like we'll have a question of the day and people can come in and vote for one side or the other and then we debate and things like that. You know, we're just trying to make it an atmosphere where it's not just come in, do your rehab and leave. We're trying to get them engaged. And I mean, my guys think this is a punishment, I take their cell phones. Because that way they have to interact with other people, they have to interact with my students, they have to interact with people from other sports. It gets them out of their shell, and it makes them more social. Because again, if you just sit on your phone and you just pick the next song and you do your rehab and you leave, it can get a little depressing.
Sure.
So taking their phone, they don't like it, but I think it does actually help with their attitude when they come in the athletic training room, as opposed to being in their own little world. They see not only their other teammates and talk to them, but they see athletes from other sports that they may not interact with usually, so they can get more social.
I like that. I like that mentality. I'm pretty sure I've watched like Ratatouille and Pirates of the Caribbean in the training room a couple times when I've been in there.
Yeah. And then again, you know, like World Cup was just on, so we do that. If there's a golf tournament, we'll do that. May 4th, Star Wars, we always got to play Star Wars on May the 4th. Just things like that, just to try and keep it, lighter.
How does it feel as a trainer, having worked with an athlete, to get them back to their sport after they've been through this long process of recovery, watching them get back out there, be successful? How does it feel to you to see that and know all the work that they've done and that you've done to help them with?
If you talk to most athletic trainers, they'll tell you that's the best part of the job, is seeing an athlete that has that traumatic injury, because again, a lot of times we're there at the worst moment. I'm there when I got to tell a kid you tore your ACL. I'm there when you got to tell a kid they broke something, and you get tears, you get anger, you get frustration, you get all of those things, and then if they go get surgery, you get the pain after surgery, and again, a lot of that process is tough. So then when you get to the end and they're back out on the field and you get to see them smile and run out on the field and just be happy, it makes it worth it. I care about what they do on the field, but just the fact that they're running back out onto the field for me is the bigger thing. Like, yeah, I want them to do well, but just the fact that they get to go back and play the sport that they're here to play and that they love is huge, and it makes it worth it.
Well, we're fortunate to have you, Luke, and we appreciate all that you do, and we also appreciate you coming and drinking some Journey coffee with us today. Cheers to that. Cheers. And cheers to an awesome 2023-2024 season.
Yeah, we need some more natties.
Hey, there you go. There you go. More natties.